Now, the U.S. has for years been calling for a crackdown on corruption within Afghanistan's government. But it turns out behind the curtains, American officials may have played a driving role in shadowy deals there. Media reports suggest that millions of dollars in cash are regularly shipped to the Afghan leadership in return for U.S. influence in running the country. President Hamid Karzai has confirmed the shipments, but claims that their scope are being exaggerated. Details from RT's Ganesh Chikam.
Both U.S. and Afghan officials spoke on the condition of anonymity to the New York Times and said that for many years the CIA had paid tens of millions of dollars in what they say was ghost money to the office of President Karzai. The Afghan government has received billions of dollars of U.S. taxpayers' money, but the officials say that the secret cash went to fuel corruption in the country. The CIA apparently delivers the cash every month in suitcases, backpacks, and plastic shopping bags. The officials said much of the money goes to paying off warlords and politicians, many of whom have ties to the drug trade and in some cases the Taliban. The result of that appears to be that the agency empowers the same networks that American diplomats and law enforcement agents say they're trying to dismantle. President Karzai was asked about the ghost money and he acknowledged receiving it. He basically dismissed the payments as no big deal, saying those are monthly small amounts used for various purposes. As the CIA declines to comment, another U.S. official has been quoted as saying the biggest source of corruption in Afghanistan was the United States. Afghan officials quoted in this New York Times report said a number of senior officials in the Afghan National Security Council are individually on the CIA's payroll. There was an interesting story with the administrative chief of that council, Mohammed Zia Salehi. Mr. Salehi was arrested in 2010 in connection with a sprawling American-led investigation that tied together Afghan cash smuggling, Taliban financing, and the opium trade. President Karzai had him released within hours, and the CIA then helped persuade the Obama administration to back off its anti-corruption push, possibly because they didn't want the CIA connection discovered in the alleged corruption scheme, because that would be a story of a dog chasing its tail. In Washington, I'm Ganesh Chikam.
Now, anti-war campaigner Richard Becker says the billions of dollars that Washington has already poured into Afghanistan have in no way helped the country's people.
It's really amazing when you look at the CIA operations in Afghanistan, which really began not in 2001, but in 1979. And in the 1980s, the CIA largest operation in its entire history was carried out in Afghanistan. And the billions and billions of dollars that have flowed. And yet today, in 2013, Afghanistan ranks exactly last. So it really indicates what the corrupting influence that the CIA intervention has had over all of these years and continues to have today. The spending of vast sums of money, the real U.S. military budget this year overall will be over $1 trillion. And yet we have today in the United States virtually half, nearly half, 48% of the population, according to the government itself, is now either living in poverty or is low income. And the interests of the people have been sacrificed on the altar of militarism.